Welcome everyone to the game between the 2024 World Rapid Champion Volodar Murzin, who takes on the world number one Magnus Carlsen. And this one promises to be a very exciting battle because it's also the clash of generations right now. Murzin may be one of the best talents in Russian chess, and Magnus, well, he always loves a challenge. He loves to play the youngsters out there. The players are ready. It's 3 minutes plus 2 seconds increment, and this, dear friends, is the ChessBase mobile app recap of the day. Magnus opens the game with e4, and we have the Sicilian knight f3 d6, and Magnus plays his favorite line in this tournament, which is the bishop c4 Sicilian. Now notice how Magnus plays it. It's as if like he's playing the Italian but against the Sicilian. Knight to f6 played, attacking the pawn on e4. He defends it with d3, and now pawn to e6, a4, gaining space, also putting a square for the bishop, bishop b3, castles, and pawn to c3. Slowly you want to play rook e1 and prepare the move d4 after protecting your e4 pawn. Murzin now has to decide how he would like to continue here. One idea is to play e5 and to try and stop the move d4. He plays a6. Magnus goes rook e1, defending the pawn. Rook b8 and d4 is on the board. Magnus playing super quickly here, and his time on the clock reads 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Volodar goes pawn to b5. Magnus takes, pawn takes, and the knight comes out to d2. It was also possible here to play your bishop out first, then develop your knight, and a move like d5 would not have been that great because of knight a5. So that's the reason why he goes knight d2, and Murzin plays bishop b7. First thing for Magnus in this game, he goes knight to f1, bringing his knight back here, and maybe the knight will come to g3. Magnus fully focused in the position. He's trying to think what is it that he should be doing here. But Volodar Murzin has to make a choice. He is down to 1 minute 40 seconds. Pawn to d5. Now the point is, if you push e5, which is the most natural move, knight e4, and it's black who's better. So Magnus must understand that he mustn't push the pawn. It's not an easy decision because this is your default idea that you have in your mind. Maybe the best move now is to play pawn takes pawn. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn. Seems like the right way to continue. But Magnus is calculating. Look at this. Pawn takes pawn. If you take with the pawn, then that's a weakness. So he takes it. He takes on d5. And Murzin would like to take with the knight, I believe, not with the pawn. Knight takes d5. And then this is what Magnus would like to do. Pawn takes pawn. Bishop takes, and then take on d5 to leave black with an isolated pawn on d5. Let's see if Magnus does that. Knight d5 on the board. He takes the pawn on c5. Magnus, so good. Knight f6. If you try to go out of this bishop d5 ideas, you may not be able to get back the pawn, and he takes it. He's just not attached to his two bishops. This is the thing about Magnus. He understands what's important in the position and goes for it. Takes, pawn takes. Now you can see this pawn is a weakness and the bishop is blocked by its own pawn here. Well, of course, if black gets d4, he would be very happy. So Magnus stops it right in its tracks with bishop e3. A very good move. And Murzin maybe would like to keep more pieces on the board with bishop e7. Yes, he does. A good move there. And Magnus now, b4 is on the cards. So maybe he wants to stop it. Maybe he wants to play pawn to b4. That would weaken the c3 pawn. Let's see if Magnus does that. These are the kinds of positions where Magnus thrives. He's really good in these positional decisions. And he goes bishop a7. Such a interesting move he's played here. Attacks the rook. Now the rook can go to c8, d8, but also to a8. And notice the rook is staring opposite the bishop here. Although the knight is defending it right now, Murzin down to 40 seconds. Has to make a decision here with his rook on b8. Maybe rook a8 makes sense, or you also have, but he takes on a7 with the knight. This allows Magnus to take here. Knight comes back to c6. It makes sense to maintain the rook on the 7th rank with rook c7. Rook d7 also possible. He plays rook to c7, a good move. And now the idea is knight e3. Bring your knight in, knight f5, knight d4, all of these things. He goes rook f8, takes on c8, bishop takes c8. And right now, Magnus, who's slightly better here, but b4 is coming up next. He goes knight e3, attacks the pawn on d5. You want to defend it with bishop e6. He plays it. And now b4 is a real threat. I think it's like to simplify. And so Magnus stops that idea with his own pawn to b4. 8-6 played here just to get rid of back rank issues. King f1, the king is coming in. Rook to d8 with the idea of d4 to open up and solve all the problems. And of course white is going to just play knight to d4. But he could also play knight to c2 to get the knight here. He goes directly knight d4. Murzin takes, pawn takes. And here you can see a very good knight against a not so good bishop here on e6. Magnus brings his king up. The rook enters in. King d2 played very quickly, although rook a5 was a winning move here. Rook to b3. Suddenly he's attacking the pawn. King c2. He takes the pawn. Magnus has gone wrong. Takes, pawn takes, and this should be a draw now. Get the king in. No, don't play. Murzin bishop d7. He has now blundered here. Bishop c6. He loses the knight. Knight e7 check. And he loses the bishop there. Well, what a really quick end there. He just simply missed the fork on e7. And that was all that Magnus needed to win. But the positional pressure got to the youngster in this game. All these years, ChessBase was a software that needed to be installed on your computer. But now, ChessBase has come up with a mobile app. It's called the ChessBase mobile app and it is available both on Android and iPhone. With the app, you can now prepare against an opponent. You can get access to more than 11 million games in your database. You can create a new game, analyze it. The premium users get access to the fastest cloud engines, and then you can save your analysis. What's more is that the app is completely free. If you want to stay connected to serious chess preparation on the go, then the ChessBase mobile app is for you.